Okay, here we go. Great sunrise, and thank you for being here. Um, Hold on a second. Today, I found two articles that I thought were very, very interesting. We're gonna go through and look at the Brianna Grier case and also the teen who evicted her parents. Um, Let me actually share the articles with you guys. Wait 1 second. Where is okay, Brianna? All right, here's the article. Hold on a second. Get this straight. Let me get this straight. Did I share? Hey, welcome. Thank you. Let me share the screen here. There we go. Now I can share the article with you guys. I hope you can see that. Yeah, there you go. Hey, that guy from Texas. How are you doing? I'm doing well. Okay, I know you all heard this. This is policing, again at its worst. And we talked previously about the system of policing. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Now the planes want to fly over my house. So much noise, so much noise. My apologies. Hold on a second. Let's get to this. Let's get into this. So Brianna Grier, woman who so-called fell out of a moving police car, died of severe blunt force injury. And when I hear this, what comes to mind once I hear severe blunt force injury, it doesn't. The story of her falling out of a car does not come to mind when I hear severe blunt force injury. That doesn't come to my mind at all. But let's look at the possibility, even if even if she fell out of the car, the police are still liable for everything because you know the police, you're still liable for that. You're still liable for that. It's still the same as you going actually hitting her in the head. It's no different. Um, Covering up the truth with the lie um, of she fell out of the car. Well, why was the car door able to be opened? Because she very well could have jumped out of the car and then escaped if that was the case. But they want to say she fell out. She fell out the car. and expect someone to believe this or to be foolish enough to believe this nonsense. So this was the autopsy results. Brianna Grier, the Georgia woman who died after so-called falling out of a police car last month, died from a severe blunt force injury to the head. According to the preliminary findings of an independent autopsy ordered by her family in this case, the case the cause of death is consistent with the severe blunt force injury that occurred inside of the head. So she had to have been hit in the head. She had to have been hit in the head. So she had to have been hit, not falling on her head. But they would have us believe that the car was moving without the doors being secured. What kind of policing is this? What kind of policing is are that's telling me you're not aware, you're not paying attention to your details, you're not aware of your what you're doing with on the job. I mean, come on. We have a high expectations of police. At least I do. Very high expectations. So if I was a police officer ever, I would have high expectations for myself to know and to want to ensure that I pay attention to my details and everything I do, and that the doors, the most important thing, especially if I'm trying to lock up a criminal who is a rapist or a um, someone who is um, more likely to try to escape me apprehending him. I want to make sure that the doors are secured. That's me as a woman. I want to make sure. I definitely want to make sure that the doors are secured and closed. I do, and then for their own safety at that, not just for my own safety, but for their safety at that. Like if I had a little kid who was stealing in the store, I want to make sure that you know their seatbelts. I want to make sure that they're correctly, that the handcuffs are behind their back. But you're gonna see that down in the paragraph. It's gonna amaze you if you haven't read this article yet. Okay, family, it's really gonna amaze you. So, preliminary findings of an independent autopsy ordered by her family. In this case, the cause of death is consistent with the severe blunt force injury that occurred inside of the head. Doc- Dr. Alicia Wilson, a pathologist and the director of autopsy and forensic services at the University of Michigan, said at a press conference Monday to announce the findings. Grier's medical records from Grady Memorial Hospital in Atlanta showed she had two fractures, hemorrhaging, and subdural hematoma after falling out of a moving police car while handcuffed on July the 15th, according to Wilson. There's no way for the door to be opened. More body cam footage released in death of woman who fell from patrol car. The 28-year-old, she was a mother of two, was arrested by Hancock County Sheriff's Office deputies, Lieutenant Marlon Primus and Timothy Leggett on July the 15th after Grier's mother called 911 to report that her daughter was experiencing a mental health crisis, according to the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. Grier fell out of the car's rear passenger door after it was not closed prior to transporting her to the sheriff's office. She had been handcuffed in front of her body and was not wearing a seatbelt. See, this is what gets me. She was handcuffed in front of her body and was not wearing a seatbelt. It is more common for people to be handcuffed behind the back. And I think it's more safe for them to be handcuffed behind the back than it is for them to be handcuffed in front. So it's almost like it was set up and staged for her to look like, I mean, why would you do that as a police officer when that doesn't even look good on you, to handcuff somebody in the front and make like they open the car door that cannot be opened by, us us passengers. The door cannot be opened by our passengers at all. So in that case, all she had to do was open the door, not fall on her head necessarily. When you get out, I mean, if she's awake and she's got the cuffs in front of her hand, there's no way she's going to fall on her head. She's going to use that ability they gave her, the access ability to it's going to be easier for her. She's not going to fall on her head out of the car. She's going to be able to fall on her legs, and then her legs might hurt, but she's going to be able to get up and run. They made it easy for her. If that's the case, she shouldn't have been dead. She shouldn't be dead today. It just doesn't. This story does not make it make sense for me. It's not making sense. Either way, the police are guilty. I don't know of what. Guilty of leaving the door open, driving off. You know, it's. I mean, that can get you fired, I guess. Not paying attention to those details of closing the door. The results of an official autopsy being conducted as part of the Georgia Bureau of Investigation's review. So these people make problems every day. I mean, you cannot do an honest life, honest living with lies after lies, and the evil in their hearts and their minds. You just can't do it. I mean, it's just you don't learn from they don't learn. It's got to be spirits entering these people's bodies. It's got to be, because I don't see how you don't look at your fellow white brother, or fellow white sister, and see time after time they doing the same thing. It's called learn. You learn from each other. We learn from each other. You see somebody doing something crazy, I don't care if you're police or whoever you are. You learn from that. You say, I don't want to go to jail. I know I'm going to lose my job because these people did it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to go and be racist and murder people because my mind is just their minds are just it's that mind thinking. It's just it's like wow. It tells you they are not the true Egyptians at all. It just all goes to show you me being a police officer versus what we see today will be very, very different. I wouldn't be out to kill people. It's just not. Policing, in my mind, has to be totally different than what we are seeing in this society. And that is the changes that are coming, that need to come to this world because people are dying senselessly by senseless people for senseless circumstances. So, although death is an illusion, and we are here in this space as an illusion, but we're here to we are get on the right path in life and to live a healthy, prosperous, prosperous life. Prosperous life. I hope I said that right, guys. um, but either way, it's also crazy. These like police officers are never going to learn anything. They're going to keep following after follow. They're going to all fall to the wayside. The ones who are racist because they're going to continue to. It's almost like when you think about racist people, they allow their emotions. Emotions is what grips, got a hold of their lives and who they are. And not only that, a lot of them do it what they do for money. Because you've got to think some of the cases are drug oriented. And hmm, as we all know, police don't make enough money. And a lot of them in these big cities like New York and other places, they get into that so they can get that extra money. So they be, doing all this crooked stuff, you know. So we know that there are crooked police out there, and we know that there are good police out there. But unfortunately, we are police. The policing system is not a good system to have. It's not a good system to have when it was built off of something nasty, something ugly, something wicked, and something just destructive to only one group of people. And it continues to follow path, in that scientific path that it was laid out in. And it continues to do the same thing. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation told ABC News it did not have any investigation updates or comments to share at this time. Body camera footage released in late July showed that the deputy thought he had closed the door, okay? According to the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. 10 minutes clip shows officers struggling to get Grier into the back seat of the police car, but does not show how she ended up falling out of the vehicle. There you go. There you go. More crooked, wicked, nasty cops. You know, more rearing of the ugly reality of racism in this country. In this country. And, they talk about the children learning, Caucasian children learning about the ugly truth of their ancestry, of their history. Um, these police officers were once children, not old enough to have lived and this many of them don't even didn't even live in the 60s, past the 60s. But we got new generation of officers coming in, right? So when you think about this, you got to think about a lot of these officers are a younger generation, far from the generation a lot of us hold accountable for slavery and everything, but they do the same thing that their ancestors did. They doing the same things that their ancestors did, but yet they say, "Well, I'm not my ancestors. I'm not like them. I'm not." But we see the same things happening without the education, with the education, with or without the education. It doesn't matter. It still is a trend that we see not ever stopping anytime soon, which is racism against brown people, people of a hue. So, when you talk about anything, when they get upset about us being proud of who we are, and they wonder why we have to have little brown girl songs and stuff like that. You know, it's our space. It's our space because we haven't been given the opportunity to have a space because there's been something pushed in society called togetherness, regardless of um, forgiveness or togetherness, peace, kumbaya, regardless of anything been amended or been fixed. So people want peace, people want something to heal that never been fixed, that never been uh, counted for, that never been had anything done about it. Nothing. You know, what has been done is what the dominant society wanted to be done in their way, but things in life don't work like that. That's not a reality that is going to work. And that's not by me just saying that because, you know, that is just by you seeing that, and it's evident that it's not going to work because things haven't been dealt with. You can't you can't you can't move forward without dealing with things. And you cannot ever think that it's going to be a peaceful world until you dealt with things the right way. And things are, the Caucasian doesn't ever want to deal with things the right way. So if things are never dealt the right way, then issues and problems like this, you can do all the police training you want to do. You're never going to you're never going to get anything done. No progression is going to be able to take place whatsoever. Okay? That's just the facts. We see it in our households until that mother realizes and accepts her mistake she made by her child or children. She may think that Jesus forgave her and she can move on, but not until she sits down with them children and talks to them and tell of her mistakes she made with them and that she sees their pain. She sees what she did and did not do or could have prevented, and pour her heart out to them. Can't Not until she recognizes what was done and the results of it, you cannot she cannot move forward in her life just on Jesus forgiveness. She cannot move on in her life like that. She just can't move on in her life like that. It's just not going to work. It doesn't work. You can try it, but that's that's the problem I have with church and religion and all this. It kind of gives you a boogeyman, something that is not there outside of you. It's like having been a child with an invisible friend, something outside of you. Instead of learning to go within yourself and be that friend for yourself first, and once you can be a friend for yourself, you can be friends with other people. Yeah, you don't have to have that invisible friend out there telling you that in your mind that I mean you know it it just it's beyond me. Ooh. So woman dies after falling out of police car while in custody. So we continue to demand answers for this young Black mother who was experiencing a mental health crisis. She hadn't committed a crime. She deserved, for one thing, they should have had the ambulance come and pick her up. The ambulance. She deserved to be protected like somebody worked to protect and serve, and they did not do that. So the police failed at their job. The police failed at their job that us taxpayers pay them. They failed at that job. Crump added, the body camera footage showed one deputy approach Grier as she lies in the road after falling out of the vehicle while saying, how is your back door open? How is your back door open? To the other deputy. Camera footage showed one deputy approach Grier as she lies in the road after falling out of the vehicle while saying, how is your back door open? To the other deputy. Greer's morning parents spoke at the excuse me at the press conference asking for transparency and answers for their grandchildren, three-year-old twins Maria and Mariah. Oh, they said they still haven't been able to explain the tragedy to them. This is awful. This is really awful. That's why we're here. We're trying to get answers so we can finally tell them what's going on and what's happened to their mama. Brianna's father, Marvin Grier, said, I just want justice for what happened to my daughter, Brianna Grier. Mary Grier added, saying that she doesn't want this to happen to any other mother. Grier's funeral is set to take place Thursday at West Hunter Baptist Church in Atlanta. Mm-mm. Mm, mm, mm. Like I said, okay, let me look at the chat here. That guy from Texas said blunt force means someone deliberately hit someone else. Exactly. Exactly. There's no way, even if I fall out of the car, you would think I would fall and hit my head. But if I got you saying you hooked me up in the front, you fastened you handcuffed my hands in front. That gives me the opportunity to catch my fall as I roll out of the car because I don't expect the police to be going real fast. But if they driving real fast, I don't, I don't understand why they're driving fast. I don't understand why they would drive fast. It's not an emergency situation. All they needed to do was get her to the nearest hospital. Um, I don't know. It's crazy. Well, let's get into this next story because this next story is about family. And we know that the family in America is pretty much a broken up theme. Family is broken up, but not all families. We do still have a proper family in America. But for the most part, we have a lot of this story has a lot of half brothers, half step sisters, step brothers, stepfathers, stepmothers in it. And it's also has it's very telling how people, you know, how there's no love. There's no love in family. There's no love in families at all these days. And it's awful. It's sad. And there's no, Brianna's parents, they also should have known better. Why couldn't they get in the car, take the kids, take the mom and put her in the car and get her somewhere safely so she can get some help because it's crazy. It's really crazy. Let me fix my I'm already on there. Let me fix this thing so I can get on the next screen here for you guys. Um let's share the screen. Mhm. All right. Okay. Teen girl evicts family after being asked to give up bedroom to pregnant stepsister for Shad. So if the family, my take on it is already, I'm gonna give you my take on it because they asked her. I have a problem with them asking her to go to, put her stuff in the shed. That shows me that they really thought lowly of her, that they were using this child. They didn't have love in their hearts. They had something else, like she's just a commodity, or she's just a uh, this child was in a she was really been mistreated in this household. That's what I get from this. A teenage girl has gone viral after sharing on the social media website Reddit that she is evicting her family, including her pregnant stepsister. The girl who goes by the name No More Advantage shared the story on the r/am I the asshole forum on Reddit. Oh, poor thing. The un the unnamed teenager revealed that she shares the home currently owned by her half-brother from her mom's side of the family. So basically that's her brother. They just have different fathers. She was living with her father and stepmother in her brother's home. With her father, stepmother, and stepsister, the latter is now 6 months pregnant. So the stepsister is 6 months pregnant. She shared that the house has 3 bedrooms. Okay. With her having a larger room than her stepsister and her own bathroom. So, rightfully so, she has her own room, which is this like almost like the suite. And um she is the youngest child, right? So she deserves, you know, the sister is pregnant. I feel like, she's if she's a very smart child, it seems like very smart to know the difference of these things. And I really think that you want to encourage a child like this more. The other child that lives in the house is pregnant, and I have a problem with that because, for one thing, she's not married and she's older. And I don't think she's a teenager. I think she's a grown woman. And then wait till you hear the next sentence. With her having a larger room than her stepsister and her own bathroom, the teenager noted that her parents warned her that her stepsister's the boyfriend wants to move in to the house. So the boyfriend, they would these parents would allow the boy that got her pregnant without marrying her, without trying to be one with her, because this I mean, how would you the man the boy the boy needs to get his own place and have her move in. If it's about all of that, I'm gonna just put it out there for you guys. If it's about all of this right here, throwing the sister in the shed in the backyard out of her bedroom suite by her brother, house that her brother owns, and you gonna move in a boy who got the stepsister pregnant. This boy should be out get, getting his own house or apartment or what have you. But he should be out here instead of coming and shacking up with the parents in somebody else's house. He should be making a way for her to nest. But obviously, him being a boyfriend, we can't expect that, right? Hmm. And As the baby's due date approached, and they would require more room for the three of them, she said her family suggested that she would have to store her belongings in the shed and sleep on the couch at night. Wow, the things you get for not getting knocked up and by someone who does not have the means to deal with the situation, to handle his own, it's just crazy out here for real. I mean, I that's beyond I don't live like that. And we would never live like this. This would never exist with me. No way, Jose. The teenager said she spoke to her half brother, very smart girl for this, who agreed it was absurd. I asked him if he can just evict my parents so I don't have to deal with my stepmom and stepsister anymore. Good for her. We all heard the story of Cinderella and the wicked stepsisters. So, this is the day and time of the family. And some families don't not even connected with their father, you know, or all of this is just the result of the foundation of this country been built on something ugly, something brutal, something destructive. And, the science of it all is that energy is a destructive energy and it's just going to be spread all over the place. It's not going to be, I guess they thought it just, this is just the caveman's thought that it's gonna just be there, over there. It's not gonna spread. Oh, once you get this energy out, it spreads everywhere and it's going to haunt you and destroy your life because this is the energy that you chose to have, and this is the energy that is gonna be. And unfortunately, you're gonna have families like this. You're gonna have situations like this. You're gonna have, it's just it's awful. This is what was chosen, not the high road, not the peace, not the fairness, not the equality, not the honesty, not the not any of that was chosen, but to fake it, like faking like there is some honesty in this place, or faking like there's everything's just an illusion right now. It's just these things don't exist here or can't exist here because of the energy that was allowed to be here. So this is what we get. And you as a kid, you have to be learn to be smart to maneuver around all this stuff. Like, this is Cinderella, the whole Cinderella story. My brother suggested that I move in with him so that I won't live there when it all goes down, as he was worried that they would blame me and it wouldn't be nice if I was living there. You know, I don't feel sorry for the mom, dad, and stepsister and the boyfriend. I don't feel sorry for them one bit because of how they wanted to treat this child. I don't feel sorry for them. I mean, people, you have to think about these things before they even said it. We're going to move your stuff into the storage shed. And, they should have thought about this. Is a child who is evidently trying to really do some things with herself and her life. And I think she deserved a lot of that encouragement, love, and attention. You know, tell her to go live with her boyfriend. He's a man. He got her pregnant. Don't move the child that you see that is trying, but I mean, I don't know if her mother's still alive or her mother's still around, but I don't feel like the father is really in this story seeing what kind of child he has in this household. Um, and you want to encourage and give them the environment that they need, you know, encourage that child so that she does not end up, finding a boy friend and living in a place under other people because they can't afford it. And then she got knocked up, you know. So kudos to this young teenage girl who seems to be very bright. And it's sad that her family is like this. And wait till you hear and down further in this article here how they're treating her now. She added that the boyfriend eventually moved in, and she moved in with her half brother as they were served the eviction notice. So they served the family the eviction notice. So just about a week ago, my stepsister's boyfriend moved in as well. So he moved in. Okay, I have now moved in with my brother, and they have been served the eviction notice, which is 2 months. She wrote, my dad, stepmom, and stepsister have been calling me nonstop, asking me to convince my brother to reconsider and calling me heartless. My stepsister texted me saying I'm the biggest a-hole she's ever met because I'm making her homeless at the peak of her pregnancy. And it's her baby that I'm punishing. No, you punished that baby a long time ago when you decided to lay down and not do that plan B. That baby's going to learn one day you had a choice at during the sexual intercourse, after the sexual intercourse, to do that plan B and not have the baby even go through anything at all. Zero, zilch. So it's mom's fault. It's the mom's fault, not the auntie, not the auntie's fault. It has nothing to do with the auntie, and it has everything to do with your choice to have a baby with a boy friend who wants to come and live in someone else's house and throw your sister to the shed on the couch. Whether she came to Reddit for moral support or feedback, people have voiced their support for her decision to evict their family. Over 6,000 people have upvoted and commented on the popular post. The overwhelming support she received was beyond her expectations. Report. I'm totally against abortion, and I've seen on TV, literally cannot understand why these people literally find it rightful to continue doing the same thing over and over again. It seems like in your mind you would say, aha, I need to do something different besides spread my legs and allow the doctor to pull out a human being from it, snatch a human being from out between my legs. Basically, torture and murder. Torture and murder. It does not make no sense. It makes no sense. It's 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 salvage. It's savage to me. It's very savage. It's a savage way of doing things. Instead of doing it the mental way or, the proper way, which is, you know, a pill that would dissolve before conception could ever take place, that would prevent conception from taking place, period. Your brother is no relation to your dad or stepmother. So the only reason he even let you guys live there was for you. A Reddit user commented, if they aren't letting you live in the house, he has no reason to let them stay and could be making a lot of more money with other tenants. So it's actually to his benefit to evict them. Yes, exactly. They made their choices. They made their choices. They're bad parenting. Very bad parenting. Um, they made their choices when they got together, the mom and dad, and they didn't even have a place to stay. But they're gonna ask her brother, or the brother and her, allowed them to stay there, which is ridiculous because the father should be on his foot. The father should be on his feet, you know. That's the way I see it. He's the elder. He should be on his feet. He should have his own place for his stepwife, for his new wife and her children, and then have the boys come over and live with his daughters, pregnant daughters, knocked up daughters, or what have you, whenever he wanted to, if he had his own space. So, yes, they made choices that were bad parenting. And now they are paying for them being homeless. Their choices, their problem, not yours ever. Correct. 100%. I agree 100% with that. Okay. The family is taking advantage of your brother and keeps moving more people into the house he owns. Exactly. Exactly. I am assuming nobody pays rent. It is your brother's right to evict them. Maybe your stepsister should take responsibility for herself and unborn baby. Now, the stepsister, she can get community housing, um, but she would have to sneak the rest of the family in at night because I think the government only allows her and the baby. I don't know about the boyfriend. He can probably live in the community housing with her, but that is an option for them. All is not, all is not over for them. They need to think. They need to make plans. They need to go and fill out paperwork for Section 8 and all of these other things because it's her responsibility to take care of that baby. She made the decision to get with a boyfriend instead of a male who is going to give her something, a large ring on her finger, and say, "Come go with me," and like he has a place for her. But instead, he never said, "Come go with me." She doesn't have a ring on her finger, but she got a baby to show for it. What? I don't know, but for whatever. And then it says, "I can't believe these people wanted to put you in a shed." This is just how much they think. This is that she's just in the wrong environment. She was in a wrong environment with this family, unfortunately, because they just can't get it together. They just couldn't get it together, and unfortunately, you got people like this. It reminds me of the man who's going around in my little neighborhood. They were talking about. I call him Brad Pitt because he takes your bread, he takes your money, and he doesn't do the job. But who pays people up front? I would never pay anybody up front. But anyways, this dude, um, he claims to be able to do plumbing or something. I don't know what it is, but um, he'll take he took through two grand from somebody. And I guess that's how he lives. He hustles like that. And so that's his gig, doing half the job. And if you pay him up front, that's your luck. I guess you lose the money for paying him up front. I guess he does a contract or something, but I just wouldn't trust anybody like that. And I don't pay people up front to do a job. I might pay you. It depends on what the job is too. That depends on what the job is. So, but you have to finish the job. And this Brad Pitt sounds like this father, just not able to get things straight, just wants to live freely or steal money from people. So, with that said, true love, real peace, and the higher self within. Till next time, peace.